Welcome to Pigskin Passion TV, and it's your boy, the Black Mamba. And today is November 21st, episode number 38. And guys, we back. We back for another week of fantasy football. And man, this week, thought I had one in the bag, and AJ Brown went out and laid a dud for me. I was actually down in this game going into last night's football game. I was down by pretty much these same 3 points that you see here. And all I needed was for AJ Brown to go out and get me about 40 yards, and I was going to secure another W for my 6th straight win. But Kansas City Chiefs denied that. Brown went out and laid a dud, and the Philadelphia offense didn't look good at all. But that's fantasy for you. You think you got one in the bag, and not so fast, my friend. So let's jump right into this week's waiver wire pickups. I don't have anything going on my end, but just wanted to kind of throw out some pickups for you guys in case you have players on bye and need someone to go and fill in for a week. And we're going to start off at quarterback. This week, if you need a quarterback, if he's available, I would go out and pick out Gardner Minshew. They're facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week, and 3 out of the last 4 quarterbacks that Tampa Bay has faced, they've racked up over 30 points, over 30 fantasy points. And 5 quarterbacks have thrown for 320 yards plus, in addition to 2 touchdowns against them this season. So that would be a good matchup to go out and scoop up Gardner. Now, going out and getting Gardner, it comes with a little bit of risk because he's prone to throw it to the other team. But he has had 2 games this year where he's had 300 plus yards and 2 games with 2 plus TDs. So it's a high ceiling, but also could be a pretty high floor as well. And at the running back position, if you're in need of a running back, Roschon Johnson is somebody I would target this week. Deontay Foreman left the game last week in the second half, and now the Bears are down to 2 running backs, and he's actually done pretty well this season, averaging 4 yards per carry. So I mean, it's nothing earth-shattering, but if there's a need for you, I think he would be good enough to fill that void. Another running back is Jamal Williams. I would pick up Jamal. He's worth stashing. He got hurt, and he's now back on the field. And the head coach, Coach Allen, said that he wanted to spread the ball out in the backfield, which means that he would be on the field a little bit more. And in addition to that, New Orleans, they rank 10th amongst running backs with touches per game. So if Kamara was to get hurt for some reason, then he would basically be thrusted into this position and would have he'll be a high volume back. Patrick Taylor with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Jones and Emmanuel Wilson got hurt last week, so just on volume alone, he deserves a look because I think he'll get some playing time this week. AJ Dillon hasn't been the stud that you would think if he was to get the number 1 running back role, and I think he'll share with Patrick Taylor. So if you're in need of a running back, Patrick Taylor will also be a good pickup for you. Another position we're looking at is the wide receiver. If you're in need of wide receivers this week, a player that I would target would be Odell Beckham Jr. He's led the team at 20.5% target share over the past 3 weeks. Last week, he had his best game of the season with four catches and 116 yards. And with Mark Andrews being out more than likely for the season, that means that that would probably open up more targets for Beckham this year. And in addition, he's gonna have some pretty good matchups, including this week's matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. And after that, they also have some really good matchups that are wide receiver friendly for fantasy, playing Jacksonville, San Francisco, and Miami. So Odell Beckham would definitely be a good pickup for you. Another wide receiver pickup, if you're in need of a wide receiver, would be Zay Jones with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He got injured in week 5, and he returned last week. And even though he's been out for a significant amount of games, he still ranks second on the Jaguars for targets within the 20-yard line. And I think that he and Trevor Lawrence have really good chemistry, and I think that he would put some points on the board for you if you're in need of a wide receiver. And moving on to tight end, I think I gave you guys this guy last week, Cade Otton, and he's been targeted more in the offense in the passing game. And the last 5 weeks, he's averaged 10.6 PPR points weekly. And this week, they're playing the Colts, who rank 5th. They're the 5th friendliest to tight ends in fantasy. And he could be a solid option if you've lost Andrews, if you had Andrews on your team. They have some good matchups coming up. They play Carolina in week 13. So I think he would be a very solid option for you at the tight end position. Another tight end pickup, of course, would be Isaiah Likely, who is Mark Andrews. That's his backup. And last year, when he was the number 1 tight end for the Ravens, these are some of the numbers that he posted. He posted a 6-catch, 77-yard for 1 touchdown. He had another game where he had 1 reception for 24 yards and a touchdown on 5 targets. Another game, he had 8 receptions for 103 yards, and he was targeted 13 times in that game. So I think that he could offer a high ceiling. I don't know how much I would spend on him, just being that it's the tight end position, but definitely would be worth trying to throw a few dollars, especially in that Baltimore Ravens offense. And like always, guys, I'm streaming my defenses. Even though I have my defense for the rest of the year, I have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. I think between those 2 teams, I can go back and forth each week and get a good matchup between the 2. But if you're in need of a defense this week, I have 3 out here for you. The first defense is the Minnesota Vikings. If truth be known, they've actually been a pretty good unit this year. They rank 11th in fantasy points per game, and they've had 2+ takeaways in 4 of the last 6 games. So if you do pick up the Vikings this week, it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of hold them through the bye week, because they're going to be also playing the Las Vegas Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. Another team that I would target would be the Denver Broncos. And ever since they had that debacle giving up 70 points, they've actually been a pretty good unit. This week they play a rookie quarterback in Dorian Thompson-Robinson of the Cleveland Browns. And his numbers this year, he's thrown 4 interceptions and has no touchdown passes. So he has a high propensity to turn it over and throw it to the other team. So with that said, Denver Broncos would be a team that I would target to pick up this week. And the last team that I would target would be the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans defense, let's not get this twisted, they're not good, but they have a high floor and a high ceiling matchup this week against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers aren't good at any of the skill positions. They've scored 15 points or less in 4 straight games. They've also allowed 4.8 sacks per game over the past 5 games. So the Tennessee defense would be a good option for you if you don't have a good defensive matchup this week. And guys, with that said, hey, let's go out here and make this playoff push in fantasy these last 3 weeks, and hope these pickups add value to your team if you're in need this week. And I have a public service announcement. Spike that like, comment, subscribe, and holler back at your boy, the Black Mamba. Out.